everybody. I just saw James Gunn's Superman, and let me tell you, that is how you do Superman. Now, before I get into this review, I'm giving you one spoiler warning. Okay? Now, let's get into this review. Now, starting off with my positives, I thought every single actor in this movie was great. I felt like nobody was phoning it in at all. My two standouts are definitely David Cornsweet and Nicholas Hoult. And in this movie, David Cornsweet's Superman just has so much personality. He's your little, Boy Scout. He doesn't swear. He says stuff like, what the hey? Because he's a symbol of hope, and he has so much personality, too. Which was my main problem with Henry Cavill's Man of Steel, since I felt no connection and no personality with his Superman. Which is why I think this Superman, David Cornsweet's, is so great. Now, moving on to Nicholas Hoult's Lex Luthor, I felt like this is the true Lex Luthor we've been waiting for. Since every Lex Luthor we've seen on the silver screen hasn't really felt like Lex Luthor to me with Christopher Reeves or the DCUs. But Nicholas Hoult is a D1 hater in this movie. When Superman's getting beat up, he's happy. When he's on the rise, he's crying and angry, which is great. Now, before moving on to my next positive, I'd like to give a shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT himself, Jimmy Olsen the Rizzler, bro. He was pulling everybody in this movie. It was crazy. I was like, dang, how's this man do it? Anyways, yeah, I'd just like to bring that up because I thought it was funny. Moving on to my next positive, I'd like to talk about the action of the movie. I thought it was great. With Superman and the Justice Gang fighting that kaiju, or the prison break scene with him and Metamorpho, or Mr. Terrific infiltrating the base to get Superman from the prison. I thought all of those scenes were great. And I'd like to mention how Superman doesn't prioritize the fighting, but he prioritizes saving people and then fighting, which I think is great. Unlike somebody else, Man of Steel finale. Yeah, but I felt like that was really cool that James Gunn added that to his character. Next, I'd like to move on to the score. I thought the score was great. And I was watching an interview with James Gunn before the movie of how he was talking about how Guardians of the Galaxy is a soundtrack movie. This is more of a score movie, and you definitely see that. Especially with, the sort of, remix of Christopher Reeve's theme with, the electrical riffs that played when, Superman was fighting, the finale or just during the movie, I thought was great. So, yeah, big positive on that. I also really like the underlying message of the one talk he has with his dad on how it doesn't matter, what you do, it's about what's important is your actions and what you stand for, that's what matters. On how, Superman at the end of the movie realizes that his real parents, the ones that matter, are the Kents, and not the Jor-Els. Not Jor-El or his mom, with the message that he got during the movie, which I thought was a bit weird. I hope they, dive deeper into that, on, why they wanted Superman Kal-El to, take over Earth and, do, a mass breeding. I thought that was really weird of them to do. So I'd like them to explore that further in the future. So, yeah. My only negative with the film is definitely the pacing. It felt a little bit off sometimes, how we were sort of going fast and slow. So I hope James Gunn fixes that within his future DCU movies. But, yeah, that's about it. I'd definitely give James Gunn's Superman a 9 out of 10. I would watch it again, and probably will. But now, let's get on to the post-credit scene and cameo talk. Now, before I talk about the post-credit scene, I want to talk about the cameo that got my entire theater laughing and excited was... Now, moving on to the post-credit scene with Supergirl taking Krypto back to her, party planet, basically. I thought it was really cool that we got the setup for that was actually Krypto's dog and not Superman, which was why he was acting like a bad boy the entire time, so that makes a lot more sense, since Supergirl is a lot more reckless than Superman, as you can see, since she kind of comes in drunken, basically, from her partying, and is going to be the setup to Supergirl, so... If you've seen the first few pages of Woman Tomorrow, you can know how this might tie in to the new movie. So, yeah. Please don't be acting like those rage monkeys in Superman. Also, hashtag super. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!